We are getting set up for our live stream here. We have a virtual class today. Intermediate sketch. Just going to get into position.
Testing.
I think we can actually go down a couple of levels here.
Can you see that?
Yeah, we can see it from here. Question is, will we still see it on the other end?
We can see it over here.
Well, if anybody's watching, we'll be getting started in just a minute. All you'll need is paper, pencil, probably an eraser, maybe a sharpener, good to have. We're going to be drawing some flowers today. So I always start off just warming up my hand, just doing some little doodles, some little scribbles, getting your pencil ready. That way the first mark you make isn't on like your nice paper and your final product. So we'll finish getting set up and you guys at home, grab your materials and get ready to get started.
According to my feed, you can see that perfect on YouTube.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Use a different device.
Let's see. So what was the Zoom link you sent me? Is that are we streaming on that too?
No, not this week. In the future, we'll have the Zoom.
All right, we are live on Facebook and we are warming up with Miss Jill.
Warming up. I'm Miss Jill. Glad to have you guys with me today. It's weird not seeing my students in front of me. I miss you guys if you guys are watching. Hi to anybody else who's watching that I don't know. Just go ahead and get your hand warmed up, get your pencil ready, your paper. Doodle some flowers. And get a close-up on our example of what we're drawing today. I found this on Pinterest. It's kind of like tattoo-y inspired. It's got blacks and whites. There's no shading. It's all about the different line width, blacking in different areas to get that contrast. Lots of little details.
That's for a close-up.
Oh, I thought you were.
She's gonna put it in her face.
No, not on my face.
Facebook can't see it, but
Close-up on her
there is a
example.
tripod right in Miss Jillian's face.
So working on some line work today. Pencils ready. If you have artist quality graphite pencils at home, that's good. I'm using a 6B right now, mostly so you guys can see. But I always like to start off with really, really light hand, really, really light marks. That way, if I mess up, I can actually erase it without ruining my paper. So if you need to, I like to have my students kind of practice using their light hand, right? You don't grip your pencil very hard. Like someone could kind of steal it right out of your hand pretty easily. Just keep it light, easy breezy. Do some light doodles. And I'm just about ready to get started. I'll take this off. So we're using like a nice quality Bristol paper, but whatever paper you have, a sketchbook at home would be good. So I'm going to start with this flower right here. I'm going to kind of break it up into like 3 different flowers. So bang, bang, bang. And you can kind of choose how you want your composition on your paper. We don't have to have it exactly the same as this. We can kind of move things around a little bit and still make it work. So you can choose where you want your first flower. Also make a decision in your head how big you want your flowers to be. I'm gonna start with this, and then I'm going to do another circle within it. Again, I'm doing mine nice and dark. I want you guys to do yours light, especially this line right here, because we'll be erasing that. Or not erasing it, but kind of hiding it. So next we'll do the petals. If at any point I'm too fast for you guys, just you can comment on Facebook or YouTube. Just let us know, slow down. So let me go up. And kind of a wavy. So this is like my inspiration. It's my example. I'm not looking at this. I'm not even like counting the petals. I'm just gonna organically do these shapes until they fit around. So you want these lines to be pretty close together. And then just kind of an organic wavy shape and then straight back down. I'll make that one kind of big. There we go. Actually, this one I like to make a little bit longer. Eraser. All right, now we're gonna go ahead to this next flower. So you'll notice this one, the middle is a lot smaller. And do a tiny little circle. Again, feel free to kind of mix your flowers up on the page. They don't all have to be in the exact same spot. These ones kind of rounder. They kind of overlap just a little bit, especially on these bottom ones. You start there. There I'm going to leave that one hanging and then kind of do the small one. And then I'll continue it.
Brooke said hi, and she asked if you could slow it down just a tad.
You got it, Brooke. Thanks for watching.
Brooke's on Facebook.
Cool. There we go. Notice that one, it even has like some little ones coming from behind the middle of each one. Add them in. All right, I'll leave it at that for just a second. Let you guys catch up. Pretty simple flower shapes. You know, we've all been making flowers with these shapes since we're little. That's what we do to it. That's going to make it look a little more advanced. And all the little details around it. While I'm waiting for you guys to catch up, I'm gonna erase this a little better. All right. Now you can, let's start the third flower. This one over here. I think I'm gonna put mine up here. Mix it up a little bit. So again, this one has a tiny little middle. And then it has these fun little, kind of like teardrop shapes. I practice these all the time when I doodle. And I'm going to make them nice and big, so it's like a nice flowy flower. So these petals, there's lots of them, and they're very close together. Sometimes when I'm making flowers like this, I like to do some on this side, and then go across. Do some on that side. And then across.
Brooke said cool.
All right. Right? Makes sense that way. Your flowers a little bit more even. You can do some there, some there, some there, and then you can just fill it in the middle. You can kind of eyeball it too. Like I can see that probably 2 of those will fit in between here. Probably fit 3 or 4 maybe in between there. Probably about 2 or 3 there. So don't forget, you guys at home, I'm doing mine a lot darker than I want you to do yours. Keep your hand really, really light. Expect to make an ugly one and have to erase it. You know, it might happen. It's okay.
I think Brooke's having a lot of fun with virtual class. She says these are fun.
I'm glad you're here, Brooke. Glad you're watching. I hope you're having fun homeschooling.
We can't meet in person, we can still meet online.
I know. I'm thankful that we have all this technology and we can actually kind of keep going about our daily routine. If this was 30 years ago, things would be looking a lot different. I think I can fit 2 in there. Yeah, squeeze them in. These are nice, skinny, almost kind of floppy petals. That one's kind of squeezed in. That's all right. I'll give you guys just a second. I know I'm a fast drawer.
So Miss Jill, what's some of your favorite things you like to draw?
Probably flowers. I draw a lot of flowers. Yeah, I like to doodle them. I like to draw eyes a lot. There's kind of like a formula to eyes, and once you get it, it's pretty easy. I have to do an eye. A virtual class eye. That's yeah. I'm curious what your guys' favorite things are to draw. Let us know. It'll help me pick ideas for projects.
Things you like to draw, or if there is something you want to learn how to draw?
Techniques too. Different styles, you know. I like to just pick projects that are not necessarily something that I would do normally, but something that's a little different than what I do. That way I kind of learn, grow, and then when I go back to doing what I always do, it's kind of, you know, it's different. I've got that knowledge of different drawings and different art experiences in my background, if that makes sense. All right, I'm gonna move on. You'll notice here how we have these little buds that are overlapping this flower. So I want to do, and I think the overlapping, it kind of makes it look a little more sophisticated, you know? So I'm going to start by drawing like a circle. Let's see, trying to think of where I'm going to have my buds. So I'm going to place mine a little differently than on here. I never like to draw the same thing. So I'm going to do one of my buds like that. You'll also notice these circles, they're not perfect circles. They're kind of shaky, kind of funky. This one looks almost melty. So keep that in mind. I don't want you striving to get like a perfect shape at all. Or again, keep it light. I feel like I'm pressing on my pencil so hard. I don't want you guys to do that. All right. So I've got my 3 circles. This one, obviously, you got to erase back into, which is why we draw lightly, right? You guys are all holding your pencils nice and light at home, not making your marks too dark. All right. So now we have the stem and the details to do on this thing. So let's start with, make like a little circle within there. And we'll do a bigger circle on that one. And from this one, let's have it coming down right until it hits that flower or until it hits whatever's in the way. Connect. And this one comes right from the hole.
Brooke said that she likes drawing eyes and people.
Oh yeah, yeah. I like drawing. People are fun. When I'm picking projects to do in my classes with people, I always have trouble deciding what kind of person to pick. If I pick a girl, a man, I don't know. So I don't do a lot of people in my classes, but I don't know. Let me know what you think. Let me know what kind of people you guys like to draw. Maybe we'll do one. So I'm erasing this line in there, just so my stem looks a little bit more seamless. All right, now we're going to start darkening in just these areas. Then obviously we'll go back, we'll add more flowers, more details. But I want to get some of these darkened, some of these started. So can we get a close-up on this little flower? I want them to see how there's like kind of the white dots inside of this black ring here. See those little white dots in there? And then we have the black dots here. Okay, now zoom to over here. So we're gonna almost do like circles. I'm not gonna do as many as this example because I don't want to draw around all that. That looks kind of tedious. So I'm gonna do a few of them. Just that way when I fill in this ring black, it's not like just a boring, completely black circle. It'll have some of those little highlights of circles in it. So, yeah, that's enough. I'm going to fill it in from here. Or around my circles that I did. So this part, if you have a darker pencil and you want to go darker, this part is where you go dark. You can almost fill it in as black as you can. Get it looking really kind of nice and solid, and this black will kind of set the tone for the contrast. So take your time and fill it in really good. I don't want these to look like just scribbles in, right? It's going to be like a solid black ring with then these little white highlights on it. And then if you finish with that, if you're not, keep going. I know it'll probably take you guys a little bit longer. If you finish with that, you can start adding some little black dots into here. Now I want you guys to press down hard on these dots, like really kind of smudge the tip of your pencil in there. Because it's hard to make a mistake with a dot. Like they're just dots. They'll be fine. Doesn't matter where you put them. Probably won't have to erase them. So I have them kind of coming right up to the edge. Some are overlapping into the edge. I can make some a little bigger, some a little bit smaller, but I wouldn't make them too many different sizes.
Miss Jill, you are currently on Facebook, you are on YouTube, and you are now on Instagram.
All right. Hi, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I'm Miss Jill. It's weird being on camera, but hey, here I am. So I'm starting to darken in around all these flower petals. So you'll be completely filling in the space in between the petals, if you have a space. If you didn't leave a space, kind of make a nice dark line anyways. See, look how black I'm making this too.
Oh, thank goodness we went live on Instagram because we just lost Facebook.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Double up my lines and then fill them in to get that nice thick line. I already have to sharpen my pencil. Now it's too sharp, but it'll go back down quickly. No.
So if you're new to us, we are doing a virtual art class right now on different social medias. This is our intermediate sketch and drawing class.
All right, so I have this one all darkened in. Nice thick edges, right? Doesn't it look so much bolder already? Totally popping off the page compared to the other ones. We'll get there with the other ones. It'll start to look really good. All right, if you don't finish filling this in, that's fine. I want you guys to move along with me, and then later you can always go back and kind of fill in other spots. So let's do these little kind of texture lines on the petal. It's got wrinkly petals. I don't know what kind of flower this is. So see how these lines are a lot thinner than these big bold lines? That's the idea with this drawing. You get a lot of different line widths. Make it look really interesting. Right, that's easy enough. This little kind of squiggly lines. I put about 3 to 5 in each of them. And have some of them kind of coming out from here a little more if you want. Let's fill in this little guy because he looks kind of ugly, these little buds here. They kind of look like little strawberry buds, like a little strawberry blooming. I'm not sure though. Some kind of wildflower. I'm going to start by, first I'm going to fix the bottom of my stem because I have it kind of closed off and I want it to be open. So erase that. And I'm also going to erase like this line here. That way, see how the difference? So now my stem is open and I'll be able to do that wide, dark line around it. All right. I'm going to start thickening my lines around it. So these should be about the same width of the flower. We might end up kind of darkening in more spaces and making it bigger. but we'll have to fill in more flowers before we do that. So again, this is really dark. Don't be shy with your pencil now, right? Because you already have this drawn, so we already know it's in the right place. It's already where we want it. Now we can just go along, really darken it. And then this side, doing lots of smudging over here. Clean it up later. Worry about that later. So you want to darken it where it goes around the flower. Not going to be my thickest line right here, but and then we also have this little shadow here. It kind of looks like the leafy top to like a strawberry or something, or just the green part of the bud. So around here, you're just going to do like some zigzaggy shapes. Just like that. Can you see that okay? And just some zigzaggy shapes. And then you're going to fill it in. There we go. Starting not to look so ugly. Right now I'm going to fill in this little circle around this stem. Okay. And then in here, it's really hard to see what this little plant is. Like this one looks like a mushroom, that one looks like a strawberry. I don't know what that one looks like. It's like a little sloth in there. Anyways, I'm gonna do like little circles. That's what mine's gonna look like. Maybe like little seeds or something. Kind of running my pencil around a few times, get these circles nice and bold. And this little part I could erase there. Yeah. Clean up some of my smudges. I'm using a 6B pencil, which is like, if you know anything about these pencils, it's like a really dark pencil, kind of like a crayon, really soft. So it's kind of making a mess. I think a 2B would definitely be dark enough for this, or even just a regular pencil. But all right. So this one here. I'm going to turn my paper around. That way I'm not smudging all over it. And it's easier for me to reach. So, center of the flower, right? Gonna go around, just circle it in, get it kind of wider. Leave a little bit of white in the middle, little highlights, and then go around all these petals, all 100 million of them. And just make them darker, thicker, nice thick lines, right? We don't want it to look like it just came out of our pencil. You know, we want it to look a little more interesting, like someone's not sure how we drew it. So any spaces between petals, they're getting filled in. This drawing style is very similar to the bright wave that we did in the beginner sketch class yesterday. Just working on the line widths, no shading. Filling in black areas. Get that contrast. And that video is still up on YouTube and Facebook if you missed it. It was a fun drawing. These petals have kind of a bigger space in between them, but I'm going to fill it all in. And there we have it, our black lines on this one. Let you guys catch up a little bit. I'm going to go grab my mechanical pencil. That way I can get super, super thin lines. Like I want to do some little dots on that. Maybe some of these I'll do with the mechanical pencil. So if you have one, maybe give you a chance to go grab it. If not, you might just have to sharpen your pencil. Nice and sharp to get those really pointy edges, really pointy. fine details. I don't know what I'm saying. All right.
And if you're kind of new to us, we are doing a virtual class. So we are in our studio in Lakewood Ranch, Florida. This is our intermediate sketch class. So we are doing some virtual classes for at home. And so if you're tuning in, you're kind of getting to see our preview series this week. In April, we'll have classes line up for April classes where you will join us through which is more face-to-face interaction, and we can show our work back and forth.
This one actually, if you look at it, the lines aren't super, super thin, but I want to do mine a little bit different than there. So I'm going to use my mechanical pencil and make some more thinner lines there. So I'm doing mine kind of fast because sometimes I notice doing like certain lines like this, like when you draw like texture in hair or like eyelashes or something, sometimes it's easier to do it faster. I don't know, for me, because if you're going really slow, then you tend to wiggle more. If you're just like zoom, 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 it goes like, makes a smoother line. You got to say the noise too, the zoom helps. All right, I'm also going to put little textures in this. I'm going to put teeny tiny little circles, kind of make it look more like a strawberry. I don't know if that's what it is, but that's what mine is. I'll put some on here too. Just super tiny little circles. All right, now I'm got to darken in that one. That one looks super ugly in comparison. So this one, if you look up close, it has kind of a cool center, kind of like a little spiral. So you can start in the middle and just do a tiny little spiral. Nothing too fancy. I think we could zoom in on the spiral. So I'm working on that one, which is also that one. I flipped my paper around so I don't smudge it. I hope that's not confusing for you guys. If it is, let me know. But yeah, I'm working just on this little swirl. Darken it in. There you go. That's all. Now just like we did before. Working it around. If you have like a super sharp pencil from doing tiny details, you might want to dull it down, give it like a little scribble on a side paper, not on your nice drawing. It's harder to like fill it in and get dark lines with a super sharp pencil. It's easier with kind of a dull point. Not too dull, but fill in this space between the petals. Got these dark thick lines. Get this one looking good like the other ones. Right? Don't these look good? See how they're popping off the page? I bet yours look good at home. I can't wait to see them when you guys finish this. Please post them to our comments. I love to see how they turned out. It's nice to feel like we're not alone, you know, like we're all in this together. We're all drawing the same thing at the same time. So let's see them.
so quiet today.
It is quiet. Not at my house.
No?
It's too quiet.
Maybe everybody's out getting fresh air.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely different in the studio without having the kids here.
Mm-hmm.
There, that's looking pretty good, right? Let's get some of these little veins on the petal in there. And take a look at them. They're not like, you can tell the artist that drew these, like they didn't think too much about it. They weren't like struggling, like, oh my God, I gotta get these lines perfect. They just kind of popped them in. They don't look perfect, but a lot of times in nature and flowers, not everything's perfect. So go ahead and put some of these lines in. You can use your mechanical pencil if you want them a little thinner. I want these ones to be a little thicker because these petals are bigger, right? Like this one had some really thin petals, so I wanted to do some thinner lines in it. This one is going to be a little more dramatic. She's the dramatic flower.
It's always at least one little drama flower, right?
Exactly. One in every bunch. I'm even going to darken these. Picking them up a little bit too. Especially the one.
So if you're just joining us, this is one of our virtual classes. This is our kind of pre-launching our virtual classes. Starting next week, we'll be off of the social media and doing on a different video platform that's user-friendly and can be face-to-face from student to teacher. Here we're just doing teacher to social media, and our students are watching through different platforms, learning and following along with us.
So next week I can see your drawings and I can tell you.
And you can see their face, and they can
doing
raise their
wrong.
hand and ask questions.
Yeah. I can see if you're picking your nose, you know. Might have to put some clothes on. All right. This flower, let's see. We're done. We can do some little lines up there. Also, if you're new to drawing, something you want to get into, something you should look into definitely is like these artist quality pencils. Get yourself some different, like they have 6Bs, 4Bs, 2Bs, Hs, Fs, and they're all different. Like some of them are harder, some of them are softer, some are darker, some are lighter. So if you're looking to get into drawing, I definitely recommend getting some good pencils. If you're just doing it for fun, your number 2 is fine. Flip this puppy back around. All right. You guys ready to start adding some more flowers onto there? Let's see. Ooh, maybe some of these cool little leafy ones. When I lived in California, we had a lot of these things. I forget what they were called, but I remember they get stuck up the dogs' noses and in their ears. All right, so I'm going to do like it's kind of like a long flowy line like that. It can kind of come out of anywhere. Doesn't matter. And then I'm gonna start in the middle because if I start here, it's gonna be a little difficult going under this. So let's get our hand warmed up to this shape first, up here where we have the space, and then we'll fit them into there. That'll be a little bit harder. So we'll do that once we're more familiar with this shape. So it's kind of a leafy shape.
Remember, if you guys have questions, just ask questions in the comments. We need to slow down, speed up.
Somebody on Facebook has asked if we have any one-on-one classes. We don't currently have one-on-one classes, but we are starting a virtual class where you can join and get feedback virtually. But right now, no, we are not doing any one-on-one in-person drawing classes.
Right. So you'll notice they're kind of like, they come in pairs. So they're not like every other staggered. They're like 2 by 2. Also, some of mine are getting a little off shape. They look a little different, but that's all right. I'm not drawing this for a scientific journal or anything, so I'm in the clear. And then there's one, kind of like a little teardrop shape on the top. You're probably still catching up. That's okay. I'm going to start putting these ones at the bottom. It's a little more difficult, but you just kind of, you don't want to squeeze them in there, but you just want to draw what you can see. You don't want to draw something you can't see. You don't want to try to fit something in there that's not going to fit. You just draw the little bits that you can see. Then let's go right away. Let's darken this up in the middle. Also, if you are a little bit behind, don't worry about the darkening, because I think that's something easy to do even after I'm done with my video. So if you're not done, you can always go back and kind of thicken all your lines. So if you're not done thickening by the time I move on to something, just kind of leave it. You can finish it up later. I think that'd be better than missing something else. So there's a couple of these. There's another one right there if you want to do another one. I'll have one coming. I have one coming up that way. They kind of look like mustaches. So you'll notice mine came out a lot different than theirs. My shape's a little bit different. Yours might come out different too. That's fine. Just kind of go with whatever shape is coming out of your pencil. Be confident with that and just go on. Do your thing. All right. I'm going to start darkening it up. But this one, I'm going to have most of my dark lines on the bottom of each leafy shape. So I'll thicken the top a little bit. I'll maybe run my pencil over it one more time. But the bottom is what I'm going to darken in a little bit thicker. Spend a little bit more time on those bottoms. Generally, when we do drawings that require no shading and more line width work. Like we do a lot of our lines, our thicker lines towards the bottom, right? Because shadows are usually underneath things. So your thicker line will be on the bottom, but not necessarily in everything. I think this design is a little more tattoo inspired. Shake my arm out a little bit. Let's see. I'm going to use my mechanical pencil to do some of the little details in here. And just to mix it up, my arm's getting tired from pressing down, making those dark marks. It's got like these little, kind of like spikies. They're almost like hairs. I wish I remembered the name of these things. We don't have them in Florida, at least not where I live. They're everywhere in Northern Cali. There. Nice and hairy. A little more detail. Let's do this one here. Again, if you need more time to darken it in, that's fine. Again, notice how I'm getting the lines on the bottom of each shape a lot thicker. The ones on the top, kind of just running over, doing a once over. All right. And some of these lines I could get a little bit better. All right, and do details. Just these little hairs again. Again, if you don't have a mechanical pencil, just sharpen your pencil up real good. Maybe invest in a good one if you're going to be drawing a lot. You're taking up drawing in your quarantine time. These are Quick Dock 0.5 Pentel pencils. I love them. I feel like the line that it makes is like equivalent to like a hair thickness every time. All right, let's add, we've got about 15 minutes left, so let's add a couple more flowers, a couple more leaves, just to make our bouquet a little bit more full. So let's see. I think maybe if I put a little flower here and a little flower there, it'll kind of round out the composition a little bit. So I'm going to do one circle here. I'll go ahead and thicken it as I draw. So I'm kind of looking off of this one for inspiration on that one, even though this one's covered. Just kind of loose petals. Maybe they overlap each other a little bit, like that. And then I'll do, let's see, maybe I'll do kind of a wilting one like that. It's kind of pretty. We'll have it going. I'll start with like, this is like that little green part that holds the bud. Let's start with that. Kind of like a little bell shape. Something like that. Why not? All right. So I'm gonna get this nice and thick around. Picking up these lines towards the bottom. I would notice how I leave them kind of thin up there. I have a couple, right? Because since we always start lightly, I have a couple lines that I'd like to erase. Kind of do sketchy lines, trying to find the shape of things sometimes lightly. So darken these lines. These ones are kind of thin. I'm going to do a couple. You want to make sure these lines kind of flow the same direction as your petals. So like when you start your line here, almost like look at the point and kind of make that line like go like it's going to go to that point. Get some texture on it. And then it has these cool little, you could call those pistons, sticking out. I'm just going right in with the dark lines. If you're not confident about it, just start lightly. Little circles. Some kind of looks like a hibiscus. We have lots of those here in Florida. They only bloom for a day and then they wilt at night. And they look like this by sunset usually. All right, now let's get over to this one. This one's pretty simple. I'm darkening around the petals. All right, so we're nearing the finish line. I'm gonna finish darkening in around this flower. And then it's all about the details and the finishing touches. Right, you see how these two flowers rounded out our bouquet?
Looks great.
Yeah, and then I'll add a couple more, some leaves just to fill it out a little bit more. Put a couple details in there, so I'm gonna do my dots or spots. Maybe you want to go in with your mechanical pencil and make like tiny little circles. Whatever, get some texture on there, make it look a little bit more interesting. And then we have the veins in this one now. So I'm starting with a really, really heavy hand, just pushing it right on this black edge, and then just like lifting my hand up as I go. That's how I get like that line that kind of tapers off. That's definitely, these lines do take some practice. That's even something you could practice when you're doodling at home, just making like lines like that. Kind of like little hair lines, eyelash lines. All right, so I got lines on that. Let's see. Let's add some leaves. I'm just gonna add a few kind of simple leaves. You can add them anywhere, like anywhere where you feel like you have space and it just needs to be kind of filled in a little bit. You can add. I think these three might do it for now. We'll see. We'll darken them in, just like how we have on all of it. You guys are pros at that now, right? You got nice, dark, bold lines. Your arm's probably getting tired. I'm going to use my mechanical pencil. Do the veins on these. Cut it right in half. Little, nice little delicate lines. And I'll do the same thing here. And I'm gonna connect this leaf just so it's not so random and floating. Maybe I'll do that over there too. I don't know. Cut it in half. Little details. Let's see. I feel like we got 5 minutes left, and I feel like I want to kind of fill it in a little bit. So maybe see these fun little flowers in there? Maybe I'll do something like that. I'll just do really simple, pretty much the same flowers that you've been drawing since first grade, kindergarten, right? Something like that. But I'm going to cluster them. A little cluster of 3. And then I'm going to darken in all around them. And I am darkening all of the lines a little bit, but I mostly want to darken around it. And I need to sharpen my pencil. It's so dull. Like drawing with wood here. Definitely better now that it's sharpened. Get in between these tiny petals. Going in a little bit of background around them. Maybe I'll do some little dots in the middle of the flower, just so that part's a little bit darker. So I'm almost done here, but if you guys want to keep going, you could keep adding more flowers. You could add more leaves to it. Add more details. You can just keep darkening in areas. See how it looks. Little things like that. These little stems or something coming out of the darkness. Just any little details to fill it in, make your bouquet look full, make it look finished. All right. See how just the darkness in between it kind of brings them together. And a little stem there. Just gonna give it a little more cohesive look. Just by adding more of the darkness in between in the middle. I hope you guys have enjoyed drawing your flowers at home. I'd love to see your bouquets. Please don't be shy to post them. Doesn't have to be your best artwork ever. Maybe you're just starting out drawing. Doesn't matter. We're all on this journey together. I want to see what you're working with. I want to see what you got. You guys all see mine. So post them. Post them in the comments on our Let's Create Art Facebook page. And all right, guys, that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed drawing your bouquet of flowers. I'd love to see it. My name is Miss Jill, and I look forward to drawing with you guys again. Oh, no.
See you later, Instagram. We'll see you later, Facebook. Yeah. that is all for YouTube as well.
I need to. I'm